left off, we started getting more into HTML and how it ties into JavaScript and how they can work so well together. And today we're going to discard everything. We're going to learn more about stuff like numbers in HTML because those help. Those help, especially if you're like trying to make a clicker game from scratch without using like something else, Algain Creator or something. Then you could do this. So first we're gonna need an actual number. So let's do a paragraph. We're gonna put the number 0. And then we're gonna have a thing it's gonna be like let's say there 0 as well. Num being something for a number. See, we don't need this right here. So we're going to be making a miniature clicker game. It's not going to be a good one, but it'll work with buttons and a new thing called parse int. And what that does, it parses an int. So first we're gonna make a function. We're gonna call it add, and add we're gonna do num equals parse. What it does is it'll parse an int. So an integer, so this cannot have a decimal on it. If I said this or even this, no, that's not an integer. That it's 0, or something like that. It'll get mad because that's not an integer. So now, parse int, and what I'm actually gonna do is id equals number. Now parse int and a dot element id. Inside of there, we're going to put the actual ID, which is number. No. So this is also inside of the parse parentheses, because this will basically get the number, get the thing with the number tag, which is this paragraph, which holds the number 0, and it will turn that into an integer, a number, and it will save that number as num, as the variable number, which is public. A public variable, but can only be established after you've done add. Then we're going to do document dot get element by ID number dot HTML will be equal to see wait. So what to do is it'll save the variable num as whatever number this is, and then it'll set this to num, which is basically this, plus 1. If you want to do this another way, you could delete all this and just replace it with plus equals num, but I don't think I want to do that. Actually, no. We're going to do plus 1, and then we're just going to set this to num. What this will do, basically, we were going to make a full-on clicker game. I've done this before. The game. Stuff, See, everything really comes into play here. Paragraphs, buttons, more paragraphs, variables, this, the get up by ID, functions, if statements, all of this just comes together and it forms something awesome. So really, what this is doing is, well, I guess there's not really a need for it to be public, but it's good to have it public. So then really in this they're all private, but well, I guess another way I could have done it is constantly saving num as this number so that they were always equal. And basically, any freaking function could use the same num variable instead of having its own private one that has to be established every time. So basically what that would look like is, first we're going to go to and type button on click add. There we go. It's going to be called click me. There we go. It's basically click. So we go into Google Chrome. Open this up. That's 0. Click me. Bam. And it changes every time. It's awesome. So I'm already up 25. But this is nothing when you see this, which is the better version of this. This is what all that was. It's just the buttons, the if statements, which won't let me buy this unless I have enough. So this is the price right here. This is how much you have. I haven't put this with this or these or something else. These are something completely different. And then just, it's great. See how when I have enough, it lets me buy it, but when I don't, it doesn't. It's awesome. The if statement. Everything ties together. It's way better. It auto does the stuff. It's great. You see what you can do when you have knowledge of stuff. You can make great things. You can do cool. You can be cool and do cool. Like a cool person. And now you see it's going up faster than it was before and giving more. Bam. 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 Getting upgrades. This number represents how many times a second. This represents how many times a second the auto clickers give me stuff. The more auto clicks I have and the more upgrades, the more it gives me. It's awesome. Well, this isn't how many times, it's the speed in seconds of how many times it's run. So when it's at 1, it's 1 second. When it's at 0.875, it's 7/8 of a second. And so this runs every this many times, whatever's of a second. Yeah. The power. It's surging through me. I'm sorry, I got carried away. That's the power of all these things put together. So easy to learn. So easy to put together. So many problems I had to go through. So many hours of debugging and crap because I'm suck. But when you're good, you don't have to do as much of that because you're good and you don't make as many mistakes. Back to this number variable. It's public, and what I can do with that is if I had another function called function add 2, I guess. No idea. This is basically just another button that adds more. 5 instead of 1, I guess. And really, to be able to use that num button, really, what I really need to do is var num is still public. Var num equals this. Then already equals 1. Now, this equals 1. What I could do now, so this still works, yes. It still works. It's awesome. And then, if I have this other thing, it's basically the same code, but instead I just have like 5. And the public variable, I forgot to make another button. I'm gonna have a thing for this. There we go. Click me with the at instead of a point. Yeah, so click me adds 5, click this one adds 1, and since num is a public variable, I can do it with the 1 without having to say, make this parse int into the number. I can just say, change this number, and then set the thing to that number. The bad part about this is if I have multiple things going on at the same time, like let's say I have an auto clicker and a super clicker, or no, let's say I clicked at the same time and auto clicker gave me point. So let's say they both gave 1, and I'll only get 1. Well, would that happen? Well, because basically they wouldn't happen at the exact same time, so I guess it would still work actually. Yeah, never mind, I was just rambling on, but basically, what could happen is that it'll be doing 2 things simultaneously, and when it adds 1 to the number before it actually updates it, and then it adds 1 to number at the same time. Well, I guess actually, you know what? Never mind. I'm just rambling on. I'll still work. I'm just overthinking things in my head, but it's great having public variables because I can just do this. I actually want to see if that works with my other thing. Probably not. So next time we might actually get into cooler stuff, or not. Yeah, that's it. Bye, guys.